Developing tonight, some tense moments and new testimony in the trial of a Cape Coral man accused of savagely murdering his own father earlier this year. Matthew Marshall is charged with second-degree murder. Investigators say he dismembered his father, Rick Marshall, and hid his body parts near his condo. 4 in your corner, Sam Sosa, live at the Lee County Courthouse tonight with more on today's developments, including a big development involving Matthew Marshall's legal counsel. Sam?
Patrick, several witnesses took the stand today explaining to the courtroom how exactly they knew the Marshalls, but perhaps the biggest shocker of the day involved Marshall ignoring a judge's warning and choosing to represent himself. Matthew Marshall wears a dark blue suit and striped tie as he represents himself in Lee County Court. He's accused of killing and dismembering his own father, Rick Marshall, back in February.
Did my dad have an ex-boyfriend named James?
Matthew seeming flustered while asking questions, the state bringing in family and close friends to ask about Rick and Matthew's relationship.
He would be shaken, upset, afraid. He would cry.
One of Rick's best friends describes fears Rick had when living with his son. He says he was concerned when Rick wasn't returning his phone calls.
You mentioned that he should use a chair propped up against the door for security purposes.
Yes, I did.
Meanwhile, Matthew questions the timeline of his father's whereabouts around the time he went missing.
14th, the Sunday, he took an Uber in Dallas. So he would obviously have to be there on...
We found your dad's part of his body in a suitcase.
The detectives who initially investigated the murder also taking the stand, saying Matthew got aggravated when asked about his father's suitcases.
No, so he's kind of shaky and his voice was cracking when he was talking to us.
Matthew asks him what he thinks the motive for the murder could be. The detective says he thinks he murdered him because he has anger issues.
Some anger issues, and when your dad wouldn't give you money for what you wanted the money for, that caused you to do what you did.
And court has wrapped up for the day. The trial will continue tomorrow morning. Stick with Fox 4 and we will bring you any developing updates. For now, I'm live in Fort Myers. Sam Sosa, Fox 4, in your corner.
All right, thank you, Sam.